إليك يا رسول الله وعلى أهل بيتك المعصومين المنتجبين يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون. آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. For the love of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, with the loudest of our voices, sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. For the love of Imam Abi Abdullah al-Husayn, with the loudest of our voices, sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. For the purification of our hearts and hastening of the reappearance of our beloved, the 12th Imam, sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali. Once again, my dear brothers and sisters, lovers and the followers of Ahlul Bayt, we thank Almighty Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala for giving us tonight being the night of the martyrdom of our beloved Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. I express my heartfelt condolences to the Imam of our time and to our great scholars, our Maraji, and to each and every one of you, lovers and the followers of Ahlul Bayt, alayhimus salam. The verse I've just quoted from the glorious Quran is Quran 2, verse 186, Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in this beautiful verse says, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي أَنِّي فَإِنِّي كَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِي إِذَا دَعَانِي. Addressing our beloved Prophet, when my servants come to you concerning me, tell them I am closer to them. I respond to the calling of the supplicant when they call on me. Now, departing from this beautiful verse, our topic of tonight is worship and devotion, a glimpse in the character of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. Our examination of tonight will inshallah be of the following 3 stages. The first stage, we will look at the essence of servitude, ubudiyah. Second stage of our examination, we'll look at the characteristics of servitude. And then the last stage of the examination, we will discuss the stages of servitude. As you know very well, mu'mineen and mu'minat, we are all created by Allah for servitude. We are created to worship Almighty Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Life without servitude is meaningless. Essence of life from the religious perspective is when one realizes he or she is a servant of Almighty Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. And the way I seek to discuss tonight's topic is to make sure each and every stage we look at, we stop, pause a little bit, and take some lessons from the life of Imam Al-Hassan alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farja. And the takeaway I would like my dear brothers and sisters to go with is to really seriously think by the end of tonight's discussion, what's the level of my relationship with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala? What am I doing as an individual to take my love for Allah to the next level? Because everything is about Allah. Even Ahlul Bayt is about Allah. We revere Ahlul Bayt because of Allah. They are our gateways to Allah. So everything mu'mineen and mu'minat is about Allah. Whatever we do, if Allah is not there, then it's neither here nor there. So kindly pay attention to the discussion. First stage, essence of servitude. Those of us, inshallah, who are familiar with the verses of the Holy Quran, you realize that Quran has its own way of addressing us. Allah uses different terminologies to address us. Sometimes Allah will use nas, people, when He addresses us. For example, you look at Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala 207, He says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْرِي نَفْسَهُ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ. As an example, amongst people, there are those who sell themselves for the pleasure of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. My interesting point is here, Allah uses the word nas. Another example, Quran 47, verse 13, Surah Al-Hujurat. Allah says, Ya ayyuhan nasu, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha. Oh people, understand this. The word I'm interested in is all people. We created you, males and females, tribes and nations. Sometimes Allah will not use nas. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will use servant, ibad, our abd or serve, abd. Let's look at a few examples. First example, you look at Quran. Allah says, فَبَشِّرْ عِبَادٍ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَمِعُونَ الْقَوْلَ فَيَتَّبِعُونَ أَحْسَنَ. Give good news to my servants who listen to what has been said and they take the best out of what has been said. Chapter Zumar, verse 17 and 18. Sometimes no. Allah will say, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ. He will use the word ibad. He said, indeed, those who are conscious of Allah amongst all His servants are the scholars. Surah Fatir, verse 28. Or the verse I quoted, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي. Question. What's the difference between nas, people, and servants? In other words, what's the difference between saying khalq, creation, and servant. Please try to understand, there's a point I'm trying to make here. Each and every creature is a servant of Allah. Kullu makhluk abdun min ibadillah. Every creature is a servant of Allah. But not every creature appreciate and recognize that he or she is a servant of Allah. Not every creature demonstrates that he or she is owned absolutely by Allah. Not every creature is qualified to be amongst those that Allah says in the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Furqan, verse 63, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ, and the servant of the most merciful. Yes, we are creatures. By the virtue that Allah says in Quran, Inna lillah. That lillah is milkiya, ownership. We are owned by Allah. My topic of discussion is not about just being a servant of Allah. It's about recognizing and appreciating that we are indeed servants of Almighty Allah. Difference between ilm and ma'rifah. All of us, we have an ilm that we are servant of Allah. But not all of us have a ma'rifah that we are servant of Allah. The struggle is not about knowledge. Knowledge today, don't get fascinated. Knowledge is so easy. What is so difficult, right from Mimbar up to you, is ma'rifah. What is ma'rifah? Is for me to be able to implement what I know. Not everyone, including speakers, implement what we preach and what we know. That is our challenge. And hence, the discussion of tonight. Who are those who truly appreciate and recognize that they are servants of Allah? True servants of Allah are determined by their readings of this world. There are two types of reading. Each one of us reads this world depending on one of the two types. The first type is that there are those who read this world in terms of quantity. Ala nahwil kathra. Sun, moon, day, night. These ones are the servant of Allah, but not true servant of Allah. True servant of Allah read this world in terms of methodology. What does it mean? They look at this world as one existence owned by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Another difference to appreciate. You know, all of us were insan. But insan is either mu'min or ghair mu'min. Believers and non-believers. Mu'min is also of two types. We have a mu'min ibadi. We have a mu'min ghair ibadi. Not every mu'min is ibadi. Regardless of your salah, regardless of your fasting, regardless of whatever you do. Who is the mu'min ibadi? He is that mu'min who is conscious of his steps wherever he may be. Mu'min ghairi ibadi is a mu'min. But when he commits sins, he justifies. He trivializes sins. That is mu'min ghairi ibadi. Now scholars said when Allah says in this ayah, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي, when my servant asks you concerning me, they said Allah is referring to mu'min ibadi and not to mu'min ghairi ibadi. That mu'min who reads this world in terms of methodology and not read this world in terms of quantity. Last point in this first stage of the exam. Please pay attention, brothers and sisters. What is servitude to Allah? We are created for servitude, wallah. You go up and down, your business, your job, whatever you do. Allah says in the Holy Quran, إن كل من في السماوات ومن في الأرض إلا آتي الرحمن عبدا. Said all those in heaven and all those in earth, they are expected to come to Allah only as one thing, a servant of Allah. The highest title given to our beloved Prophet by Allah is the title of Abd. Abd is the greatest title ever given to our beloved Prophet by Allah. وَأَنَّهُ لَمَّا قَامَ عَبْدُ اللَّهِ يَدْعُوهُ كَادُوا يَكُونُونَ عَلَيْهِ لِبَدًا. So what is servitude? What is ubudiyah? I'm going to give you 3 definitions to appreciate. First definition of servitude is that of Allama Tabatabai. He discusses beautifully in Al-Mizan. Tabatabai hold the view that servitude is izharul mamluqiyya lillahi azza wa jal. Is to practically demonstrate that you are owned by Allah. In your interactions with people, in your dealings with people, you behave in such a way that you are owned by Allah. As per Tabatabais, this is the real definition of ubudiyya lillahi azza wa jal. Sayyid Khoi, may Allah elevate his status in Dar al-Akhirah. He holds the view that when we talk of ubudiyya, servitude simply means unconditional attention to Allah. Wherever you may be, pay attention, Allah is there. And this is what Amir al-Mu'minin mentioned. Ala wa fi kulli shay'in ayah tadullu ala annahu mawjud. In each and everything, there is a sign indicating that Allah is in existence. Third definition is a general spiritual definition of servitude. What is servitude? Scholars in the field of spirituality says, servitude is the transfer of humility from my heart to my life. Meaning what? When we stand to pray, we are so humble. Am I able to transfer this humbleness in my life? If I'm humble during my salah and in my dealings with people I'm not humble, then according to this definition, I've not achieved the essence of servitude. So that's first stage of the examination. Second stage, mu'minin and mu'minat, are the characteristics of servitude. Extremely important. Let's learn from Imam Al-Hasan alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjah. The first quality of the true servant of Allah is bina'un nafs, spiritual self-building. That's the first quality. One cannot be a true servant of Allah without building ourselves spiritually. This requires efforts. I cannot fold my arm or my hands by just claiming I'm a lover of Ahlul Bayt. Ahlul Bayt had a true ma'arifah of Allah. And they expect from each and every one of us to strive harder in our own small ways to find Allah. Quran makes it very clear. إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. Indeed, those who have the consciousness are those who know about Allah. There are things I and you can do to build ourselves. And this I'm talking to you as an individual before talking to you collectively. You need to build your spirituality. I need to build my spirituality. Somebody ask a question. What do you mean by spirituality? I need to build a relationship with Allah. What does it mean to build relationship with Allah? I need to bring Allah to my life so I feel the presence of Allah. Quran says, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Those who strive in us or who strive in our way, we will guide them towards our ways. How do I build myself? Please, I beg you, take something out of this. Islam is not a slogan. Just slogan. Me, we. No. Islam is the level of relationship you build with your Creator. That's Islam. If you look at all our Imams, they were determined in their lives to build a relationship with Allah. You look at Sayyidul Sajidin, for example. He would say, Bika araftuk wa anta dalaltani alayk wa da'awtani ilayk wa lawlaka lam adri ma ant. Sayyidul said, Ya Allah, I know you through you. And you are the one who invited me to you. If it wasn't of you, I wouldn't have known you. Imam al-Hussein will say, Mata ghibta hatta tahtaju ila ad-dalil yadullu ilayk. Oh Allah, when have you been absent that you need someone to show me where you are? Now, how do I build myself? Take a baby step to build your spirituality. The first and the simplest one is to perfect your daily prayers. You cannot be a true lover of Ahlul Bayt, let alone true servant of Allah, without daily salat. You may cry whatever way you want to cry for Ahlul Bayt. If there are deficiencies in your salah, then you are far away from Ahlul Bayt. The first practical tip to build my spirituality so that I become a true servant of Allah is to be overprotective of my daily prayers. And hence you realize Imam al-Sadiq beautifully mentioned alayhi salam, La yanalu shafa'atana man istakhaffa bis-salah. You will not attain our intercession so long as you undermine your daily prayers. The best and the strongest tool given to us by Allah to build our spirituality is our daily prayers. And you have so many traditions on the benefits of these daily prayers that can build our spirituality. One narration will say, Qurbanu kulli taqi mi'rajul mu'min. These daily prayers makes the soul of a servant ascend to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Now, number two practical tip. If indeed you are able to work on your salah, I say take a baby step. Because true servants need bina'un nafsi, self-building. Add optional prayers. And one of the best optional prayer I and you can add to our daily prayers is Salatul Layl. Salatul Layl is a strong tool to build my spirituality. Many people talk spirituality. You are right. Salatul Layl, don't give it a miss. Amir al-Mu'mineen sat next to our beloved Prophet. And the Holy Prophet looked at Imam Ali and he said to me, Ya Ali, safeguard three things in your life. Amir al-Mu'mineen asked Rasulullah, what are the three things I should look after? Number one, he said Salatul Layl. Number two, he said Salatul Layl. Number three, he said Salatul Layl. One narration tells us, the moment you wake up with the intention of Salatul Layl, Shaitan has three knots around us. the first knot is dismantled. When you make wudu, the second knot is destroyed. When you say Allahu Akbar for Salat al-Layl, the third one is destroyed. Allama Tabatabai narrate, he said, when I went to Najaf to study, I visited my guru, Allama Qadi, Qaddasallahu nafsahu Zakiyya. And I said to him, oh my guru, please advise me. I need some help. I want to take my journey to the next level. Allama Qadi looked at Allama Tabatabai, he said, Alayka bi Salat al-Layl, Alayka bi Salat al-Layl, Alayka bi Salat al-Layl. Namaz shab karo. Work on your daily prayers, but wallah is the greatest tool. وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ Quran said, فَتَحَجَّدْ بِهِ نَافِلَةً لَكَ عَسَىٰ أَن يَبْعَثَكَ رَبُّكَ مَقَامًا مَحْمُودًا. And of the part of the night, wake up, talk to Allah, open your heart, offload what is in your heart. Allah may elevate you to the praiseworthy station. Mystics who achieved whatever they achieved is on account of Salatul Layl. In addition to wajibat, if you truly want to appreciate being servant of Allah, hold on to Salatul Layl. So the first level, I need to build myself. Number 3 practical tip, I will say dhikr of Allah. Remembrance of Allah. You know what a dhikr is? Having sense of belonging to Allah. That is zikr. So when I do zikr, I'm demonstrating that I have sense of belonging to Allah. And Allah makes it very clear in the Quran. فَذُكُرُونِي أَذْكُرُكُمْ. Remember me, I will remember you. Call on me, I will make it so easier for you. One narration says, remember me, I remember you. Simply means, remember me in difficulties, I will remember. Remember me in easiness, I will remember you in difficulties. Remember me above the ground, I will remember you inside the ground. Now look at Imam al-Hasan. How he taught us to build ourselves spiritually. Narration tells us, إِذَا ذَكَرَ الْمَوْتَ بَكَى. Whenever Imam al-Hasan would remember death, he would cry. وَإِذَا ذَكَرَ الْكَبْرَ بَكَى. Whenever Imam al-Hasan would remember Qabr, Masum, he would cry. وَإِذَا ذَكَرَ الْبَأْثَ بَكَى. Whenever we remember he will be resurrected from his grave, Imam al-Hasan would cry. وَإِذَا ذَكَرَ الْمَمَرَّ عَلَى الصِّرَاطِ بَكَى. When he will remember passing on the Puli Sirat, Imam would cry. But look at the last point. Narration says, when he will remember heaven, Imam would stop and make dua. Ya Allah, prepare my soul to be of those who will enter heaven. Self-building. Build yourself. Your soul is created to return to Allah. When I say it's created to return to Allah, I'm not talking of death. No. I'm talking of your soul to be the sanctuary of Allah. Quran tells us, if you don't want to go to Allah, then فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ. If you really don't want to go to Allah, where are you going to go? You're going to go downtown? Where are you going to go? So that's the first characteristic. Second characteristic of servitude is bina'ul aqli. Ikhwani wa izai, my dear brothers and sisters. Build yourselves intellectually. Wallahi. When intellect is deprived of its provision, it becomes inhibited. It becomes shallow. It becomes lazy. Quran makes it very clear. Fabashir ibad, Az-Zumar 17-18. Give good news to my servant. Who are those? الَّذِينَ يَسْتَمِعُونَ الْقَوْلَ فَيَتَّبِعُونَ أَحْسَنَهَا. They are those, they listen to what has been said, but they don't just follow everything. They take the best out of what they hear. Build your intellect. You are a lover of Amir al-Mu'mineen, who said, Saluni kabla an tafqiduni. Build your intellect by knowledge acquisition. Acquire knowledge of religion. Don't give it a miss in your life. Religion is too vast. Especially, I address my dear youth. A youth is someone who is productive and creative from the psychological perspective. And for you to be productive and creative, you need to be intellectually strong. Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam teaches us. You know the tradition very well. When Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala created animals, Ajallakum Allah, He gave them imagination and desire. When He created angels, He gave them intellect without imagination and desire. But when He created insan, He granted us imagination, intellect, and desire. When you bring these three together, these three are called free will. But let the intellect function. Narration tells us, Al-aqlu ma ubida bihi ar-Rahman waqtusiba bihi al-jinan. This intellect is what Allah is worshipped through. And heaven will begin through the usage of intellect. Somebody asked Imam Sadiq, what is then the intellect of Umayyah? He said, that is not intellect, that is shaitana, is shaitan. Today, you know, the struggles we have in our life is what? It's not just ignorance. It's compound ignorance. Because there are people who know, and they know that they know. Some said this tradition from Imam Ali. And there are people who know, and they don't know that they know. That's okay. But there are people who don't know, and they know that they don't know. Okay. They are humble. You know our problem? There are people who don't know, and they don't know that they don't know. These are compound ignorance. Today we have a lot of compound ignorance. Everybody wants to show his Maulana, his Sheikh. Baba Imam Sadiq defined a Sheikh. I don't call myself a Sheikh. Imam Sadiq said, Al-alimu man idha nadarta ilayhi yudhakkiruka al-akhirah. A true scholar is the one, by just looking at that person reminds you of Allah and Akhirah. That's a scholar. I may be a speaker, but I'm talking of a real scholar, an abd of Allah, who doesn't influence you just intellectually, but influences you spiritually and mystically. So your intellect requires knowledge. Now look at Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Just few tradition, if you allow me to share from Imam. Imam said, Ta'allamul ilma. Seek knowledge. You cannot be a lover of Imam al-Hassan without knowledge. In one tradition, Imam says, Husnu su'ali nisful ilm. Asking good questions is half of knowledge. Then he said, La yagishul aklu man istansa'ah. Akal will not deceive anyone who seeks his advice. Meaning what? When I go to acquire the knowledge through the usage of my akal, this akal will not disappoint me. So on the second level, I need to build myself intellectually. Since last year, how many Islamic books have you read? You can answer yourself. How many Islamic books have you spent money buying? Then Islam will become boring in your life. Because the more you read and explore, the more you enjoy this religion. It's not just following karama, relax, chill. It's about knowledge and connection with God. It's not slogan and shouting la. It's about who knows in the sight of Almighty Allah. Qimatu kulli mri'in. Amir al-Mu'minin said, Ma yuhsinu. The value of every individual depends on what you are able to do with perfection. That's number two. The last characteristic is Qiyanul Ijtima'i. Building myself socially. Want to be a true servant of Allah? You have to build yourself socially. Without building myself socially, then I cannot achieve anything. And one thing we need to realize, the most difficult creature to deal with is insan. Anyone who masters insan will master his relationship with Allah. Yes. Because Allah describes insan for us to appreciate insan. One ayah Allah will say, La zalumun kafar. Insan, you don't know insan, huh? Insan is forever unjust and ungrateful. You've been serving them for 20 years. You make mistake 2 months, they say, we're done. That's insan. وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ أَكْثَرَ شَيْءٍ جَدَلًا. Quran said, you're looking for someone more argumentative? Don't look around, look at insan. By the Jan of my father, by the Jan of my mother, and the person is lying. So master insan, and you will become a true servant of Allah. Before we look at an example from the life of Imam al-Hasan, look at these traditions of the Prophet. Prophet teaches us techniques of social interaction. You know what Prophet said? Wherever you may be, wherever you find yourself, whether you are right or you are wrong, maintain the best of all akhlaq. Khuluqul Hasan, khuluqullahil a'zam, Prophet said. Good akhlaq is greatest akhlaq of Allah. Wherever you are right, you are wrong, just maintain good akhlaq. Maintaining good akhlaq doesn't mean you are not administering justice. That's number one technique. When we build ourselves socially. Second technique, my dear brothers and sisters, whoever you come across, whether you know him or not or her, respect the person. Some of us will never respect you if they don't know you. Some will not even greet you if they don't know you. But whoever you come across, honor the person, respect the person, whether you know the person or you do not know the person. That's a technique of social interaction. Number 3, when you interact and deal with people, don't first think of finding fault in them. See good in them before you think of finding fault. Now look at the example of Imam al-Hasan. It is his night. Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam was walking in the holy city of Medina. He came across poor people, very poor. They were having pieces of bread. They invited him, come, join us. Imam came, he sat next to them. He ate the bread. But you know what he said after that? Inna Allah la yuhibbul mustakbirin. Allah doesn't want arrogance. Allah wants us to be humble. Allah wants us to be down to earth. So this is the second stage of the examination. Build yourself spiritually. Don't forget. Build yourself intellectually. Attend classes. Enroll online classes. Attend. Number 3, build yourself socially. Then I promise you, you will appreciate the true meaning of being a Muslim. Without knowledge, how will I know Allah? Last stage of the examination. Stages of servitude. The verse I quoted earlier on, I would like you to pay attention to the verse. Because I'm going to explain the stages in the lens of only this verse. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي أَنِّي فَإِنِّي كَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. That's it. When my servant asks you concerning me, tell them I am nearer, I am closer. I respond to the calling of the caller when he calls on me. Now this line explains 3 stages of servitude. The first stage is the stage of asking. What is the stage of asking? Please understand this. is a stage of ishq, love. There are two ways of asking. We have emotional questioning, we have intellectual questioning. Intellectual questioning, please can you give me? Or Quran says, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. That's intellectual question because I want to understand something. This ayah, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي, and when my servant asks you concerning me, meaning what? The servant is yearning for Allah. It's emotional questioning. When do I meet Allah? I crave the presence of Allah. I am missing Allah in my life. Why Allah is everywhere, but I cannot feel His presence? Where is the problem coming from? Is it from me or from Him? Of course, philosophers makes it very clear. The problem is not with the giver. The problem is with the receiver. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي. This true servant of Allah, mu'min ibadi, he is yearning for Allah, is crying, looking for Allah. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam in Dua Kumail, beautifully mentioned, isn't it? So long as you do not deny me your presence, I am okay. You can put me in fire of hell. It's only your presence I crave. That is a ibadi. That's first stage. In other words, this servant of Allah, they are overwhelmed by the presence of Allah. But what can you do without God? Allah is central to everything. Yearn for Allah. Imam al-Hussein yearned for Allah. You love Imam Hussein? Look for Allah. إلهي تركت الخلق طرا في هواك وأيتمت العيال لكي أراك فلو كتأني. There are so many versions to this. في الحب إربا لما مال الفؤاد إلى سواك. Abba Abdullah said, Ya Allah, I've left everything of this creation because of you. I'm making my children orphans because of you. If they are to chop me into pieces, my heart will not divert anywhere until it finds you. That's the first stage. In Dua Arafah, we all read, what has he lost? Who has found you? And what has he found? Who has lost you? Look for God. Yearn to have God. Now look at Imam al-Hassan. Allahu Akbar. Narration tells us, even making wudu, Imam al-Hassan would shiver and his complexion would change. Allahu Akbar. Baba, look for God. Time is moving very fast. Take your love for Him to the next level. They would ask Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam, why is it that whenever you make wudu, you shiver? Imam al-Hassan would say, do you know in whose presence I'm going to stand? Do you know who I'm going to face? As narration tells us, when they say kada qamatis salah, it means what? Come to do munajat of Allah. Those who yearn for Allah. Ahlul Bayt is about Allah. I cannot overemphasize on this. Ahlul Bayt, their ma'rifah of Allah is extra large. That is why we revere them. That's why we love them. Because loving them is loving Allah. When narration tells you dhikru aliyin ibadah, it means what? Because dhikru aliyun dhikrullah. Why? Because Ali is the highest manifestation of Allah. It's all about Allah. As I said, baby step, according to your circumstance. But don't be left alone. Our beloved Imam would shiver But look at the next line. I'm sure some of you heard this before. Imam al-Hassan, after wudu, going to pray, getting to the mosque, he would stop. He would look at the mosque. Some said that time, some said during Iqama, he would say, Ilahi miskinuka bibabik, asiruka bifina'ak, ya muqsinu kad ataka al-musi, anta al-muqsinu wa ana al-musi, fatajawaz an kabihi ma indi, bijamili ma indaka ya karim. Imam al-Hassan would shiver and would cry. He said, Ya Allah, miskinuka bibabik, your miserable servant is in your door. Asiruka bifina'ik, your captive servant dwells in you. Antal muqsin wa anal musi. Imam Hassan said, Ya Allah, you are good, I am evil. Use your goodness to replace my evilness. So that's the first level. Yearn for God. Second level. فَإِنِّي كَرِيبٌ. Allah says, I am close. There are two types of proximity here. You have qurbul ihata, as they say, and qurbul mahabba. You have proximity of encompassing. I will explain what it means. And then you have proximity of love. What is proximity of encompassing? That we are all close to Allah, regardless of whether you worship Allah or not, on account of being real connection to Allah. Muslim, non-Muslim, we are all real connection to Allah. We are not something that has connection with Allah. Two different things. Sometimes I say to Doc, I have connection with you. But sometimes I say, Doc, I am a real connection to you. When I say I have connection with you, meaning what? I may have connection now, I may not have connection next day. But when I say I am a real connection to you, meaning what? I will never and ever be able to survive without you. This is where the verses tells us. وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ. وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ. You don't know the ayah. من حبل الوريد. أقرب إليكم من حبل الوريد. We are closer to you than the jugular vein. Which closeness? Closeness of encompassing. إن الله يحول بين المرء وقلبه. Allah circulates between man and his soul. This is discussing closeness of proximity, of encompassing. But we have what is called closeness of love. This is the second stage. That when you enhance your love for Allah, Allah comes to you in full. Inna Allah ma'as sabirin. That's closeness of love. Inna Allah ma'al ladina takaw wal ladina hum al muqsinun. He is with those who are conscious and those who are kind. Now look at Imam al-Hassan. He obtained that love. Narration tells us he undertook Hajj 25 times. Mashiyan, by walk. Some say this 25 times Hajj, Umrah may be included. Walking. They said he will be on a camel. When getting closer, he will tell them, no, I cannot go to my Lord like this. And they will ask him why. He said, I have to walk to my Lord for the love I have for my Lord. Build your love for Allah, and Allah will come to you easily. As they say, Allah come to you in full. How many percent you want to take Allah? Some took him a lot and they became infallible, masumin. Some took him to their level. They wait for Salah. Some know they are even in the mosque. Because of the level they took Allah, they will wait for the first takbiratul ihram before they join Salah. Some know They say, no, you know what? I will pray at home. Jamaat, no worry, I will pray at home. Everybody depends on the level you take Allah. Allah comes to you in full, Habibi. You don't have to pay money for him to come to you in full. Some took Allah to their level, they will not miss Quran daily. It depends on your level, Habibi. Wallah. You love Ahlul Bayt? Love God. But their love is to take you to God. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. Those who believe are severe in loving Allah. But look at the next ayah. Allah says, "In kuntum tuhibbun Allah, fattabi'uni yuhbibkum Allah." If you claim to love Allah, follow me, the Holy Prophet. Allah will love you. Meaning what? If your love for the Rasul and Ahlul Bayt is true love, Allah now and then our love for Allah will be taken to the next level. Last stage. Ujibu da'wata da'i idha da'ani. I respond to the calling of the caller when he calls on me. There are two types of responses. We have physical material response and you have spiritual response. Physical material response is what? I want to get married, money, Allah help me, I marry. I'm looking for a particular job, Ya Allah, Allah give me. But there is what we call spiritual response. Some scholars said, Ujibu da'wata da'i iza da'an refers to the spiritual response. What is that spiritual response? Allah makes you a source of mercy to others. Islam is deep, brothers and sisters, wallahi. Are you a mercy, source of mercy to people around you? Can you put a hand on heart and say you are a source of mercy? It requires effort. The Holy Prophet is a source of mercy. Amir al-Mu'mineen is a source of mercy. Imam al-Hassan is a source of mercy. Sayyidah Fatima, Abu Abdullah, they are sources of mercy. Whoever met them benefited from their mercy. To a certain extent, Allah made them channels to Him. This highest level of being a source of mercy. And you also need to strive so that we become sources of mercy to others. Ujibu da'wata da'i idha da'ani. In Hadith al-Qisa, we decide that in it is. Inni ma khalaqtu sama'an mabniyan. Wala ardan. You don't know dua Hadith al-Qisa? You know Hadith al-Qisa? So let's do it together, man. Inni ma khalaqtu sama'an. Ahsantum. Wala ardan. Wala kamaran. Wala falakan. Wala falakan. The ulama have divided into two classes. But that's correct. Illa li'ajlikum wa mahabbatikum. That's the end. I've created you, everything that I created because of you and your love. Why? Because your love is linked to the love of Allah. So it's all about Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. In conclusion, brothers and sisters, what is it that I should do personally? At least to feel the glimpse of the first stage. Something simple I want to mention, then we're done. Tawbah. Tawbah. When you do tawbah, you feel God inside. How many times you feel the spark when you pray salah? There are times you feel spark, you feel elated in your salah. Tawbah. Not only tawbah. Number two, Feel the pinch when you remember letting Allah down. And number 3, let the tears flow. See, Imam Zain al-Abidin would cry. But he's not crying because he committed any sin. He cried because he's teaching I and you. Now, mu'minin and mu'minat, it is the night of the Shahada of Imam Hasan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam. It's the night to take our hearts to the holy city of Medina. On a night like tonight, you would wish millions will be in the holy city of Medina. But unfortunately, you can count how many people are around the burial place of Imam Hasan al-Mujtaba. Imam saw gum, musiba at a very young age. Before attaining 10, he saw how his mother was disrespected. Imam al-Hasan. You know, a poet mentioned 2 ribs broken painfully on earth. 1 rib was broken when the person was alive, isn't it? And the other rib was broken when the person was no more. The rib which was broken when the person was alive was that of Fatima al-Zahra. Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam saw that musibah, my dear brothers and sisters. But you know, the highest form of oppression is for your wife to oppress you. Isn't it? The wife dropped poisonous substance. Imam ate it. Now the moment Imam ate this poisonous substance, it affected the liver of Imam. It gave Imam al-Hasan hard time. Narration will tell us, Imam yatamalmalu tamalmul as-salim. He would turn his tummy on the ground because of the pain he was going through. Zainab would knock the door. Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam would remember Fatima al-Zahra said to him, never break the heart of Zainab. Imam would vomit blood and would try to hide the plate under the bed. Aba Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam would knock the door. The poison would continue to affect the body of Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. They would cry, both of them. But Imam al-Hasan would look at Imam al-Husayn and would say to him, La yawmaka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah. Oh my beloved Husayn, yes, I am in pain, but remember there is no day like your day. I said, oh Imam al-Hasan, on that day, they sliced the body of a Qasim. I said, oh Imam al-Hasan, indeed you are right. On that day, one of them kicked the head of Husayn. I said, oh Imam al-Hasan, indeed, La yawmaka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah. One of them kicked the chest of Husayn. I said, oh Imam al-Hasan, indeed, La yawmaka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah. One of them struck his dagger on the chest of Ali al-Akbar. I said, Wallah la yawmaka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah. One of them struck the arrow and he broke the neck of the baby. But you know, Imam al-Hasan, mu'minin and mu'minat, succumbed to the calling of his maker, isn't it? They brought Imam al-Hasan to bury him next to our beloved Prophet. But guess what happened? Arrows were struck towards the body of Imam al-Hassan. Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam made some attempt to defend. Imam al-Hussein said to him, no, it is the wasiyah of our brother not to do anything. Let's carry him to Jannat al-Baqiyah. They got to Jannat al-Baqiyah. Imam al-Hussein had to remove arrows from the body of Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam before he managed to bury Imam al-Hassan. But you know what Imam al-Hussein would say? If you lose your wealth, you cannot say you are ruined. The one who is ruined is the one who bury his brother with his hand. Allah la'anatullah ala al-qawmi al-zalimin. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.